Hey, yo, B, what time is it?
I don't know. Can you tell me what time is it? Yo, cat, you think they're ready for it?
They better be, because I know what time it is, man.
So what time? What time is it?
It's hot topics. That's what time it is, man. Shh, I want to say the word.
It's time for Hot Topic Session.
Remember, she, yes.
Honestly, I don't know what you're saying.
This, oh, sugar.
Oh my God.
I had to say the sugar word. I had to add some zing to it.
So even when we rap, we're demure.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we just needed to do that because of the guests we had. Coming up today, it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be hot. Anyway, I wish we had some beats to this, but there's still a lot more. God, guys, you guys don't know what me and Peculiar have planned for you today.
It's a lie.
I know where the inspiration came from. It's from our Hot Topic special guest today. Now, Lola already gave some hints as to who our special guest would be, but we'll be bringing him on in just a few moments. But ladies, that's not the only thing that is responsible for my excitement. I can barely contain myself because we're already starting the show off on a good note and then starting with some more great news. Yesterday, we got the wonderful news that is supposed to be showing on your screens that the 27-year-old postgraduate student in the UK, Daniel Ogoh, who disappeared without a trace after arriving in Lagos on May the 5th, has finally been found.
Listen, and alive.
And alive.
And alive as well, because this thanks to the media, thanks to News Central, the presence was massive. This past Tuesday, that's the 22nd of October, David Ogoh, Daniel's twin brother, was on News Central's Breakfast Central with Osalge and Olive, where he explained the despair the family has faced since his brother disappeared. In May, he responded to our post on the show yesterday saying that his brother has been found. The family is taking Daniel to the hospital for assessment, and they are asking for some privacy right now. We are respecting that, and we will share details when the family is ready to share. This is so good to know.
That's some great news.
It is, and honestly, we're so thrilled to receive this good news because we are already going through a lot in this country, and there's no need to add any extra worry, any extra stress. So this is beautiful news. You hardly find news like this where someone is found and alive, especially in Nigeria. It's so sad, but I'm so glad that he's found in good health, and we're hoping that, when the assessment is done, he is fit.
I want to know what actually happened. Like,
I know, right?
Because, man, I won't lie, my heart was in my mouth because I said, since May. Mama, where could you have been since May?
You landed at the airport and
my God.
That was it. And when you think about it, the number, like when you're on social media, the number of people who are constantly asking for help to locate their their missing ones. Peculiar and me were talking yesterday. There's another family and friend that's looking for a husband, his wife, and their young son. They don't know where he's gone. He was redeployed, I think by the Navy or by the military. He was supposed to go and resume at the next place. Him and his family left, and now, months later, they have not heard a word. Father, mother, child disappeared. And we shouldn't be okay with that in Nigeria. We shouldn't be okay with people saying, I'm going to Ogun State, I'm on the way to Ogbomoso, and then people just disappear. And it's nothing. It's not okay. It should never be okay.
No,
you never want to put people in a state of helplessness where they can't reach their loved ones. They don't know what's going on. And then when you hear oftentimes about how the police respond in some of these cases, David was talking about how the response from the airports was, how the response from the police has been, if you watch the interview from earlier this week. And it's disheartening that human life, Nigerian lives, in some way just seem to be worth nothing, or the people who are responsible for preserving those lives just seem to be doing nothing at all. There's a case we're following very closely. I can't let it out of the bag, but there's a case we're also following very closely. That's cross-border right now. We're investigating it as News Central. And the family is talking about the response from the police. And the police just saw that they run a, but they're saying the boy is not running.
The boy is not, I mean, whatever it is, this is not, it is deeper than we think. These are the issues.
Absolutely.
We talked about the issues we talked about yesterday when Marshall was in the studio. We said, how about those cases that don't make it it to the limelight, that don't see the light of day.
Yeah.
Guys, and you hear the police saying, oh, you know, they don't want to respond to it, or they don't want to. It's almost as if the stories, the little stories behind the main stories. And we don't need that, guys. You see somebody, listen, if I'm this person's brother, I'd be saying, since May, I don't die where I did. Since May,
June, July, August, September, October.
A lot of Nigerians will even
Over
say,
6
forget,
months.
that one is gone. I know a lot of people that will say because we've kind of lost hope in finding people who actually go missing or are found wanting in Nigeria.
We need to work on it. All right, let's get you something else, an update. Now, on Monday, we had the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, on the show to look at ASUU's threat of embarking on yet another strike. We asked him if he believed Nigerians would support ASUU going on strike over the issues raised, which include unpaid earned allowances, lack of implementation of the 2009 agreement, ASUU's issues with IPPS, and more. He said he was sure Nigerians were still supporting them, and we should ask them, and so we did. Here's what Nigerians had to say on the matter.
So the problem is our government. So we have to work on our government first before we go on strike. So all I can say.
For me, I don't agree with ASUU going on strike every time because at the end of the day, it's more of the ant suffers what the elephant in the house is enjoying. So the government are there doing their thing, ASUU is going on strike, and the students are the ones having to bear the brunt of it.
Talking about ASUU and the constant strike that is regular, you can see that the craziness in Nigeria is constant. That is the political craziness, number one. And initially, if you are talking about strike or ASUU or whatever, if lecturers or either ASUU or NASU or whoever goes for strike, it talks about demand, their demand from the government. And what is before I go deep, I will talk about what entails government, what are the functions of government, what are the expectations of the people or of the workers from government. Then now, is government doing their own, just as lecturers or ASUU are doing their own? Now, if ASUU should be asking questions or making a demand towards some certain amount of money or something, or their interest, then the government should be able to give them, because what is worth doing is worth doing well. One. Then, on the other point of view, I could really say that the government has failed us. In education sector, number one, in any country that wants to grow, you invest in education, technology, you invest in health, talking about health, the social infrastructures. But I'm in Nigeria, I live here in Lagos, and I also live in Nigeria. I see the failures of government. Even to me, I pay my tax, but my tax, are they working? They are not working.
No, it's not favorable for the students and their parents. First of all, I would say it's frustrating. You know, when you have a time frame that this is time I want to go to school and this time I want to work, it's someone frustrating and someone extending your years. Then when I was in school, we programmed 4 years, but it's almost on to five years and a half. You understand? And secondly, again, high cost of living, transportation, everything is just high. So how would they meet up with all these instances that we just listed here? So all these things is just time wasting, I would say. That's my own point of view, that it's time wasting, and the government is not doing anything about the transport, everything is just going high. So if they are doing this continuously, how are we going to save? What is our future? There's nothing for us in the future. Please just consider the masses, consider the students, because you are the leaders of tomorrow. Let our time, let it count. Please, we just need something, just need a change, please.
What the comment is that they should, the student loan, this student loan is not encouraging. It's like debt on students when they pass out from school. What they can do is that they should try to invest more on education. So all these university teachers, all these lecturers, they will enjoy, all the professors, they will enjoy.
So, well, he said that Nigerians still support them and encourage them, but you can see from what we've heard, not everybody's in support. And when we talked about the cumulative years that ASUU has been on strike, it's upwards of 4 to 5 years. People's academic careers have been truncated, people's attempts to move forward. And then in this same country, somebody will tell you that you need to have graduated at 23 and have social experience, or nobody under the age of 27 can apply, when some people are still in school because of strike. So there's so many issues around it, but I really, really wish we'd have sincerity from the government on this issue. 2009 agreement to now, they're still fighting for implementation of the majority of what government signed, and government is a continuum. Whether it's your administration or not, you are bound by that agreement as a government to try to affect it. If you think it's not possible, call them back to the renegotiation table before they even strike to say, this can't work. How do we renegotiate? You're always waiting for them to go on strike. Then you're always begging them to think of the students. You're always begging them to don't do this for the higher national consciousness. What are you doing for the higher national consciousness?
I think it's a broken record.
Absolutely.
I think ASUU is a broken record to the federal government, and the federal government simply doesn't care. I don't know whether they have a personal beef with ASUU or just they don't like the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU. We have been hearing ASUU. I'm sure when our guest sits on this table and we ask about ASUU, they will have what to say about ASUU. We go listening, hearing ASUU. In our years in school, we're on strike for like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Listen, whether we like it or not, like I say, you cannot keep using the same formula that has not worked over and over again. Because if you keep using that formula, you're going to just be going around in circles and nothing is going to get achieved. I think ASUU, I've always said it, ASUU has to find a different way to approach these issues.
So
these are the issues.
It's easier to say, but then again, if you look at the situation, because while I was interviewing those people, there was someone who said that something in the line of it has a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
So they go on strike, and then the students, one lady was literally, she was almost breaking down in tears. The university she attends, she's paying for her school fees, and the school fees has almost tripled in price, and she's like, she just wants to finish school so she can focus on her life. But then again, someone was talking and said, these teachers, lecturers need to be considerate of the students. And I asked the question, I'm like, the lecturers are people's parents too.
Yes.
Their children are also in school.
They're
So
Nigerians.
what do you expect them to
They
do?
shop at the same markets.
Exactly.
They're affected by the same
if we're
costs.
saying that, they need to find another approach, what other approach? We've protested, we've cried, we've begged, it's like everything is falling on deaf ears.
I remember the week before we had him, there was a headline in the paper that some lecturers around 80-something, I think, had actually died because of unpaid wages. And that's what ASUU was linking to the deaths of those individuals. It's a very unfortunate thing. But you wanted to say something before we move on to the break.
I was saying that when you really want something as a business person, if you have a formula as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you have a formula that doesn't work for you, you will burn the midnight oil
and change strategy. But we don't run Nigeria like a business.
No, we don't exactly. But I think
we need to change. All right, I need to put my glasses on for this next bit. Please, whoever is there, follow me. Because I want this guy that's coming in to see if I have a career. Are you people ready? Yeah. I think my name will be T-Baby. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, let's see if you guys catch this one. Now, Jasiri's got a guest. It's Hot Topics time. Dropping big thoughts, every word's gonna rhyme. They're bringing fresh vibes, insights on fire. Truth hits the mic, lifting minds higher. Tune in, lean in, this convo's elite. Jasiri's where real talk and big ideas meet. Yo, we're going on a break.
All right, guys, welcome back. You're watching Jasiri. And if you're watching us from Lagos, you've probably heard his voice on radio or seen one of his hot takes go viral. Our guest is the male version of Jasiri. Yeah. He's bold, he's fearless, he's the man, the myth, the legend himself, my colleague, my friend, my person, our person.
Our paddy.
Our paddy. Yes, we call him MC!
Abi, is it not you?
You took all my best pictures from the
CS6 sent me on a rabbit hole down his Instagram looking for good pictures.
He gave me the work to do.
He gave me the work to do.
I'm so sorry. I'm one of those where I never do photo shoots, so I rarely have pictures.
Oh, see, my hand, no, you're not near me. I was like,
Bluetooth.
all right. Thanks, welcome to
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you catch our rap session earlier?
I did.
Please,
I did. I stole like
true.
2 lines, but we have to hit the studio.
Hey,
We have to. Who will do the chorus?
She can sing. She can sing.
You can sing?
She's
For real?
she's on the hook.
Yeah,
We have a banger.
yes,
We have a bang. You people are not ready.
Say no more.
You're not ready.
Say no more. We'll just have to
you
figure
hear
out how
the-
to share the stream.
We're very fair. We have legal representation already on
That's
lock.
all I
Don't
wanna
worry.
hear.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
we are ready.
Yeah.
Really, we are.
Okay, so very quickly, let's get to it. Now, if you're a fan of Jessie, you already know where I'm headed with this question, and you already know the question I'm about to ask, so I think we should all do it together. Ladies, are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
How are you?
How are you? How are you?
As a Nigerian. I'm going to answer that as a Nigerian.
How are you?
I am struggling.
Hey.
I'm hanging in there.
Yes.
I'm barely afloat.
Yeah.
God there.
Those are the ones.
What God cannot do does not exist. We go make them. These too shall pass.
that is
Tough
my
times
question.
don't last, but
Some people do.
Yeah,
Wow.
so,
He's the one who's actually answered this question the best.
Oh, okay, you took it from me. I was going to say is this is the most
honest.
Everybody wants to come and be
Like,
optimistic with that
seriously.
question.
no. It was the best of times, was the worst of times.
And it's still the times.
It's quite oxymoronic at the times we're in. So it's bad. We're not dead.
Yeah.
So,
Sadly.
That's
Not
bad.
sadly, but it's sad that we're saying we're not. What, Catherine, please go ahead.
All right, so let me take you guys through this another. Well, even though we were not expecting another episode of Keeping Up with Nigeria so quickly, the producers of this hit reality show might be over time. First, it was news of a cabinet reshuffle, and now President Tinubu has issued a new directive on reduction of cost of governance. According to his special advisor on information and technology, Bayo Ononuga, he released a statement saying yesterday that the president has restricted ministers of state, heads of agencies of the federal government to a maximum of 3 vehicles in their official convoys. No additional vehicles will be assigned to them for movement. Don't forget, this came just after the president reshuffled his cabinet. Where is Lolo now? Sacking 5 ministers, including the ministers of Women Affairs, Youth Development, and Education. He reassigned 10 and nominated 7 new ministers, including Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu for Minister of State, Foreign Affairs, and Megare Dingyadi for Labor and Employment. N6.
yes, ma'am.
Guy, let me give you the honor of going first. Is this what Nigerians have been asking for? How do you feel? Because Lolo was here yesterday,
My goodness.
and and she was saying, "Oh no, I feel he's bold on his party's project." I said, "No, I don't agree, but that's me." What do you think now about this move?
I worry for President Tinubu. I worry. I fear the amount of baggage he came into government with might restrain him on a lot of things.
The one he came in with or the one he met?
The one he came in with, first
Okay,
of all.
okay.
There is a report called an Oron Saye report. Somebody has sat down and literally cut down this whole cost of governance for you already. Just follow the report. You don't have to make these big, bold statements. Let me say something, because my worry is he might even mean well by saying these things. Let me be fair, because I'm on TV. He might mean well, but when has he been obeyed? There was a statement he made to the customs where he told them about the importation of food and free waivers. But just last week, customs came out and said that they didn't follow that. And
With no consequences.
They didn't follow it. So you hear things like this. But the breaking news this morning was that the Vice President Shetima's aircraft, something hit it in New York.
While it was on the ground.
I don't know if Shetima needs a new aircraft windscreen or an entirely new aircraft. So when you hear things like this, I would like to see him start it first. I'm in the opposition, and I complained about his car convoys during the election period. There was one that was 100 and something cars, and people were like, oh, people go to meet him from the airport. Oh, do you want him to die? Oh, this, that. So now, if he starts it, I think it will be much easier for me to look up to others and say, come, the president is doing it, why are you not doing it? But if these pronunciations come out and he doesn't seem to have cut his course, I don't know who else will follow suit like that.
Follow his words,
still
but
must
not his
trickle.
actions.
It still must trickle from the top down.
So, let me add some stuff to that, because we know that in January, the president announced that he was reducing his entourage on foreign trips from 50 to 20 officials. For local trips, he reduced it to 25 officials, also reduced for the vice president as well, then also made something, I can't remember the announcement on the first ladies as well. There's also an order on Thursday's directive that ministers, all the people listed would have no more than 5 security personnel attached to them. This is to be 4 police officers and 1 DSS officer. No additional security will be assigned. He also instructed the National Security Advisor to engage with the military, paramilitary, and security agencies to determine a suitable reduction in their vehicle and security personnel deployment. And he said all of these are to be complied with immediately, underscoring the urgency and seriousness of the charges. So you said you have an issue with the security
My question is, I remember from our numbers, our police force is between 250,000 to 300,000.
300 something.
Who wants to kill a minister? Who wants to kill Bianca all of a sudden? Do you understand? Like, she's been a regular citizen and then she becomes a minister, and all of a sudden, just between yesterday and today, she has 4 policemen and 1 DSS. Do you understand me? Like, who wants to kill a minister?
So you think that's too much?
It's too much. Give the president, give the Senate, give the head of the Senate, give the vice president, and give one more person, the head of the rep. 4 people, and that's it. How many policemen do we have actually policing our streets that everybody should get 4 cops and 1 DSS? And I must confess, I've seen the policemen are carrying bags.
Yeah, we've seen the video.
Policemen are, please help me transfer to this person. Come on now, policemen are carrying handbags. What are we doing here? We really need all the cops we need. I don't even want to say, but a presidential candidate could come down go slow in the traffic and speak to people and with no security. That is the Nigeria I want to see. Why does the minister? Why does the minister who is a copper, who is in the NYSC, need 4 people, 4 police?
But somebody might tell you you're not being realistic about the security situation in Nigeria.
Who wants to kill a minister?
You don't know. I don't know. Maybe they know.
Maybe you shouldn't be a minister. Then maybe you shouldn't. I understand if you want to kill the president, the vice president, the Senate, the House of Reps. But who wants to kill
the Minister of Petroleum?
Who wants to kill him? Who wants to kill Heineken Local Biri? Like, what are we doing here?
So I think what this points to is the trappings that come with political life, especially when you enter into these levels of political governance. And it just becomes an expectation.
Who wants to kill Sunday Dari?
So you mentioned the president's convoy, and I'll put the 2 of you in a corner. I'll put the 2 of you in a corner. One house. You mentioned the president's convoy. I think we have one of those videos. And I remember, I think the last time he was in Lagos for an official event, the video that trended on 3rd Mainland Bridge, and there's an ambulance, there's a communication something. But I think part of this also comes down to all the people who always want to come. So if the president is in Lagos, you'll see governors from maybe 4 or 5 surrounding states carry themselves all the way to Lagos.
That's the beauty of the new
So sometimes that full convoy we see is not always their official convoy. My question on this is, how do they plan to track this thing and enforce it?
Have you been to Bodilon?
Yes.
It's a big white street.
Yeah.
And if you know somebody's going to come, you could go line up there first and blow there. And I'm being very honest.
That's the
It's a big wide street, so if you know he's going to come in, we could all line up on Bodilon and either go to the airport together or come back. And then from that video, you see that the traffic is held on one side. So it's just blowing and blowing back. I want to see how these convoys will look now at 1,200 naira a litre. Yes.
So that point takes me to the savings. What do we actually save for limiting the vehicles in the convoy and reducing the number of maybe security personnel? Is there an actual cost savings in terms of governance when we look at this thing that the president has presented?
Oh, there was one minister, I think she's been kicked off being a minister now, who had an indictment for spending about 1.5 million on petrol. So maybe we can call her now she's not a minister and, you know, have that discussion. She could even tell us the convoy she had then, and if she was running now, how much it would cost.
I'm going to leave this.
It's in the news.
We know
It's fine.
That's why you're here.
When you talk to a fellow you, that is the problem.
I'm just saying. We can call her now. She doesn't have all the trappings of
Yeah, it's actually true because
Actually,
all of a sudden when they leave, it's almost like the veil. It's almost like the veil falls from their eyes, and all of a sudden they can start telling us about the demons and the witches and wizards that were affecting them.
Maybe 20 cars cost 1 point something million at 700 naira a litre. So what will 5 cars cost now at, you know, 1,100 a litre?
I want to see the spreadsheet on this thing, sincerely. Because you can't just make this pronouncement and not be able to show us maybe progress in 3 months and say, this is how much we've saved because this was done. And I put that to Bayo Onanuga and the presidency as well. This is what you're saying. At the end of the day, in 3 months, show Nigerians the evidence of what has been saved. Let's know that there's truly been a cost to governance, but a cost to the cut of governance.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
N6, this story is for you. So something rather interesting was and continues to make waves on X. Now, it seems that the obedient movement is unhappy with its leader. After seeing Peter Obi's birth, let me finish now. Let me
I sent him some smoke.
I did not take your tweet because I could not. Now, after seeing Peter Obi's birthday remarks for former military head of state Yakubu Gowon when he marked his 90th birthday recently, Obi praised Gowon's leadership during Nigeria's challenging periods, noting his commitment to preserving the nation's peace and sovereignty. Obi also highlighted Gowon's legacy of service and statesmanship as an inspiration for future generations. Wow. This post did not go down well with many in the obedient movement. It got to a point where Obi had to make a tweet explaining his birthday wishes to Gowon. So that's the picture that Peter Obi posted along, and then now he's explaining himself because he was under a deluge of people, including N6 here. So N6, and I didn't know at that time that I was sure he was coming, but I didn't know we were going to take the story. I'll start with you. You had a very few choice words with Peter Obi. Unfortunately, I cannot put them on the screen.
Yes, please don't.
Because you see, he understands that I cannot use it.
Please don't.
But why was this an issue for you and a lot of people in the obedient movement?
Especially the Igbos. Let me use myself. I did not meet the Civil War, but in my family house, there is a huge picture of my uncle. And you grow up being told how many of them died in a war. Like there's a huge picture of like 20 or 25 men in my family, and there are only like 5 or 6 left. Do you understand? So their children are alive with that pain. Their entire lineage, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, are alive with that pain. My father is in his 80s. He fought in that war. And it did not concern him. He wasn't in the army before the war. He was a regular guy. Some people quarrel here, they kill set of people here, and then Nigeria couldn't agree on something, and all of a sudden you're a soldier. You know, so when that happened, and you thought it was still honorable, I mean, we've heard the news. But at the end of the day, you say no victor, no vanquished. And unlike what we have in Rwanda, there was no truth, there was no reconciliation committee. People were not forced to hug people who killed them. And, you know, so you hear the war, you hear what Nigeria did to the Igbos, and then you hear minorities of what the Igbos did to like other villages in the South. Do you understand? So it's something that we still need to discuss. The pain is still there. I didn't meet it, but I'm being groomed by people who are still angry over it. You did not offer restitution. My father told me properties he had that he
There's supposed to be the 3 R's, right?
You know, so there was none of that. And then it's like karma, nemesis, whatever, one of the main instigators of that gets to 90 years old. Like you could have told him, happy birthday, go on, whatever, thumbs up. But the extra shalaye was where I and a lot of people had a problem. It came off as slightly insensitive. Do you understand me? But when he explained himself, I didn't necessarily buy it. Like I said, they are politicians. They have a job to do. There are people I'm still good with today or I'll greet cordially in public, but I really don't care about them. But I wouldn't greet them in public and go, hey, my friend, you are this to the youth. You are a progressive.
Yes.
Come on.
You won't go the extra.
No, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. And Peter Obi is somebody that if that didn't get to him, he would not, or if he didn't see where we were coming from, he would not have written the next message trying to explain himself. Also, there was something he told us from the beginning. He says, I'm the kind of person that I don't want people, if you agree with me too much, me and you will quarrel. And he said that on a Twitter space. And I prefer that type of candidate
or leader overall, regardless of the party.
Yeah. Like I said, I prefer that type of leader. You did something I didn't like, okay? And then you explain back to me. I don't like a monologue. I don't like
an echo chamber.
An echo chamber. It just sounds like the leader says, and it's all, hey, you know, no, I don't want to do that. So it had its moments, it was a bit of this and that, but for me, I'll take that over blind followership any day.
Okay, so we also have a lot of reactions to this. Dele Momodu, the Ovation publisher and former PDP presidential aspirant, had some words of encouragement for Obi. So let's take some reaction and or to Obi's post and then see what Momodu had to say.
Oh, I had to pick. It was hard. This one says, as usual, I called Mr. Okay, this is from Dele Momodu. He called Peter Obi after seeing it. And Peter Obi said, and I said to him, some people are not happy, sir. And Peter Obi responded, Mo, short for Momodu, I've always told you never to dwell on yesterday or agonize over it.
No, this is Dr. Mo, his Peter Obi's secretary, not Dele Momodu.
I'm trying to look, DMO.
That's Dr.
Okay,
Mo.
Dr. Mo, I apologize. Yeah. So Peter Obi's secretary. So of course he called Peter Obi and he said, and he told him, I've told you never apologize. I cannot see. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
We cannot be trapped by the events of the past. Instead, we must be grateful to God for today and look forward to tomorrow with hope. I understand the negative comments. I deeply regret the painful history that took place over 50 years ago, though I know little firsthand, only what I've been told. Sad chapter for many. And in quote still, my comment today, however, was about General Gowon's removal from office and the grace with which he handled those difficult events. It wasn't about the war itself. Focus was on the life he had led since his removal and his remarkable ability to remain prayerful and steadfast in his commitment to Nigeria.
So it's a longer piece. Let's take some other reactions to Peter Obi now. A lot of people had a lot to say, some much more friendly than
it was.
All right, so Ikechi says, as an Igbo person who deeply understands the pain and trauma inflicted on our people during the war, it is disheartening to read this message coming from Peter Obi, someone who should have known better. While I respect the need for civility, let's not rewrite history. Gowon's actions during the war led to the deaths and sufferings of millions of Igbo men, women, and children. The scars of that period still run deep in the hearts of many of us. Celebrating his unity and peace without acknowledging the atrocities and starvation policies imposed on our people feels like a betrayal. Peter Obi, you are someone who has carried the hopes of the Igbo people, and we look to you to speak truth to power, not to gloss over painful truths. Unity should be built on justice and acknowledgement of the past, not by ignoring or romanticizing the role of those who contributed to our suffering. The Biafran War is not just a chapter in history. It's a wound that still bleeds for many families. Please, let's not diminish our pain in the name of national politics. And that exactly re-emphasizes what N6 was saying about it's an open wound for many across the country. But not everybody thought that Peter Obi did wrong.
Vindicated Chidi says, every day I'm learning something new from you, sir. I am really learning. Because I know this one will hard me to do. Your kind is very rare.
Let's see, there's some more. So someone said, this is the philosophy that Nigeria needs, the philosophy of unity, nationalism, and forgiveness. Keep teaching us, sir. Bigots are on both sides of the divide. So N6, and this was a picture someone posted and said, Ojukwu already made peace with Gowon after the war. Peter Obi is only following in the footsteps of this hero and leader. And he himself caught a lot of flack on that. And then somebody says, there's no reason to be in everybody's good book. The goodwill is unnecessary. Let's end it at that. It's a sort of conversation about moving forward. And I don't know if you guys remember a situation that happened when we were on radio and someone was having a conversation about the Civil War. And we got that call. And that was it. And I think it's important that we have to address this. It's going to continue officially. Rwanda did Truth and Reconciliation. I think South Africa had Truth and Reconciliation. Those who were guilty. When you travel to Rwanda, everybody is Rwandan. They don't go by tribe. It's a national identity, not a tribal identity. But some people would say there's still undercurrents because justice has not been fully meted out. People are living side by side, people who raped and killed their family members. And we see that across Africa, and I think this is an opportunity. Peter Obi, the obedience movement, Igbos, Nigerians, whatever it may be, to have some very, very necessary conversations.
Because undercurrents are strong.
There are wounds that have not healed because we want to shove it in the closet and keep it there and pretend like it never happened.
No, it did happen. And
sadly, even in handling it as well, like I said, it must still be nationally handled. Because if we still leave it in the hands of the people, it will be very haphazard, very topsy-turvy.
Very sentimental, emotional.
The National Orientation Agency needs to go to Rwanda, sit with these people, and get a blueprint to get Nigeria on a forgiveness route, especially on a myriad of several issues.
Do you think forgiveness can be, if we are actually serious, intentional, do you think there can be forgiveness and a way forward for the whole country?
If we're serious and intentional.
Caveats. All right, we need to go for a break.
Yeah, we do. Let's take a quick break now. When Hot Topics, especially with N6, continues, we look at the controversial content from American comedian and content creator Druski, who was recently in N6 is already reacting, let's go! Who was recently in Lagos. And time allows, look at the mother standing up to her mother-in-law. Yo, you all want to see the details, so stick with us. I'm going to be right back.
You're still watching the award-winning Jasiri right here on News Central Television, and trust me, the conversation is hotter behind the scenes. Our Hot Topic special guest is rapper and media personality N6, and we've already looked at the president announcing new cost of governance measures as well as reshuffling his cabinet. We also discussed the controversy Peter Obi has found himself immersed in after wishing former military head of state Yakubu Gowon a happy birthday, and went on to write a whole epistle. Now, let's look at the controversy that has sprung up following the visit of American comedian and content creator Druski to Nigeria.
I don't know if you've seen some of the content, N6, but he has, because his reaction when we were going on the break showed that. But I saw it and I was quite upset. He did a video behaving like an African scammer. And he was also with friends, misusing the Naira notes, even poured champagne on expensive watches and footwear, chanting, "We do not care." You know what? It's better seen than me relating it, because it's not going to work. So let's roll the video.
The police cannot stop us. They cannot stop us.
Today, how far? The check did not clear. $180,000. Where's the money? The money is not available. The money, they say the money did not go. Bro, you have to check the stuff, man. Check the wire, everything did not go through, bro. I'm in with Bank of America. How may I direct your call?
Hello, this is Nicholas White. I want to check the account.
Can you just answer a couple questions to verify this account? Starting with date of birth?
No. This is Nicholas White. I want to open the account.
Okay, sir. At this time, I'm unable to verify this account, and we'll be transferring you forward to the fraud department center.
We do not care. We do not care. We do not care. We do not care. I do it again. How far now? Yes, boss. I have money. You don't know. I do it again. I do it again. It's nothing. Look, this is all money. That's all money.
So what the continuation, he had some girls, the video has continued, but we need to go to N6. And you have huge fans following us, and they're with us on YouTube right now, shouting out N6, just check N6, my man. Thank you for that. We brought tips, so also remember to shout us out as well. But anyway, he also had some girls using the Naira notes to like dab his forehead and all. But is it only really his fault? His real name is Drew Desbordes, and he came to Lagos recently. He's also gained fame for his humor, but also he's collaborated with people like Jack Harlow, Drake, Little Yachty, and others. But it's that video this weekend, and Nigerians have not let him rest since he posted that video on X. N6, we start with you.
Okay. I mean, I roasted him. I had all the smoke for Druski for that skit. It made absolutely no sense. But for someone who has lived in America with Black Americans, they're not exactly the most educated people. They're not the best educated people on the planet, and that's fact and data. So there is a lot they churn out that, will affect sensibilities. I would not look at Druski and expect intelligent content. So there is a limit to how angry I can get with such a character. Of course, I'm disappointed. He actually came to Nigeria to shoot a show.
He's doing audition for that show.
He has a fake record label thing he does. And it's so crazy. I have seen no content
from the actual
thing that brought him here.
Okay.
Do you understand? He spent more time on that skit than on the actual show that brought him here. He's meant to be shooting some fake version of his record label, and he's trying to hire artists from around the world. I've seen no content from that.
But probably he's carried away by the hospitality.
Yeah, so Kai Sinat was here recently, and he apparently his visit was impactful. He went to schools, donated some stuff, and you see the Nigerian community continue to rally around.
And even the Nigerian content that he did was not something that defamed Nigeria. It was something relatable that everybody enjoyed.
I worry about that, but Nigeria don't fall so they, if you even hold person with the yab Nigeria, it be like family member when they behave himself for house, you can't say them concern for outside. It be like you people know they behave well for house, so anything we see for outside, take. So Nigeria, okay, I'm mad at Druski, but is that what happens? Yes, people pour champagne on their watches. Boys get late, do ridiculous stuff. Yes, it's what we do. So as much as I'm angry with him, I'm confused on two aspects. Druski has never come off like an intelligent comedian. So, like I said, I can't be disappointed with him that, he's not doing what he normally does. No, this is Druski. Second, I'm disappointed that he came here to shoot something. I was very interested in which Nigerian talents made his record label thing.
Yes.
I've not seen any content from that. And then this kid puts me in two positions. I go yabam as a Nigerian because it's not putting us in the best light.
Yes.
But
did you think it was funny?
No, it wasn't.
And then you see the Nigerians in that video, the people who organized that thing for him.
Are they not at all?
We've sat on this table, not this week, that we talked about.
Last week, about negative media bias.
And these are the reasons why I won't lie. I know when I blow, I go cause problems. So maybe that's why God is doing it. Because if I was Davido, I would have warned him.
Because he's been out with Davido in the past year.
I would have put up a post. Yeah. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, this is not dragging Davido.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, if I was Davido and you came into Nigeria, hung out with me, use me for clout, because my name is literally one of the biggest names we've hung with, and then you do some goofy stuff, I will tell you, bro, man, couldn't you do a skit on jollof rice like that?
Exactly. But would you even blame them? Because recently I'm seeing
ladies
and
and how beautiful they are. What was this?
So gone are those days where you see movies where they'll tell you the Africans in the movies are usually the first to die. But there's even gone beyond that. Now in movies, you see several series where if a Nigerian is cast, or now there's even one terrible thing they do. They use other Africans to depict Nigerians. And Genevieve said something about that, but I'm not even going into that. If a Nigerian is cast, most times you see that they're either fraudsters or they're criminals or they're doing something that, and it's like, that's
and we must say this for the record, top 20 fraudulent countries does not even have Nigeria there. I keep drumming this because this is Googleable data.
Because the question is, why does it wear a black face? Why does it wear an African face? And why does it wear a Nigerian face? So we have reactions to this, and some people, African Americans, are also in the comments saying, but he makes skits about African Americans, and we all kiki and he with when he's making fun with them. So
let's not they behave well for house.
Let's look at the reaction. Okay, Daniel Ogoh, who might be showing up on the Jasiri table soon. That day will be. Well, anyway, he said this is beyond insensitive. Nigerians are often labeled scammers just based on our nationality without any reason or proof, and you're furthering the stereotype with this ill content. All the days you stayed in Nigeria, this is the best you can say about us Nigerians. Disgraceful. Who else has a comment? Someone else said, it's really disappointing to see Druski come all the way to Lagos just to drop a skit glorifying the stereotype of African scammers. This is the kind of narrative that feeds harmful perceptions of Nigeria and Africa as a whole. It's not funny, it's lazy comedy. We're out here trying to reshape the world's view of us, working hard, building businesses, making meaningful contributions, only for content like this to reinforce the idea that we're nothing more than fraudsters. There's so much more to Africa than scams, but jokes like this reduce our identity to a punchline for clout. Because I want to get to other comments. Let's see another comment.
That's what you said. Comedy has power. And that's not a lie.
It does. Someone said, why are so many, I assume many Nigerians, calling him names for acting what most of y'all are into? If he had this against Ghana or SA, you would have been laughing. I see nothing wrong in what he did, and if y'all want to see foreigners not see y'all as scammers, stop doing it and y'all will be fine. Never forget, you'll always be addressed as you present yourself.
Is our problem.
Druski, I love you and everything you do, but this isn't a Brody. You visit one of the biggest countries in Africa, didn't come up with no better content idea other than showing the world that there's a fraudsters there. Meanwhile, Kai, Speed, and Co. been going to Asian countries where fraudsters are packed, yet they don't do like this. Do better, broski.
Facts. Facts.
All right, very quickly, last one on this. Imagine saying all African Americans are gangster bangers, ex-convicts, and call it a joke. Nigerians involved in these things aren't even up to 5% of the population. That's like 10 million people into, it's not even 10 million. It's not even 10 million. But anyway, it's a slap in the face to all the citizens working hard, doing the right things. Somebody replies, 90% of Druski's skits that feature black people from America use very negative stereotypes we have. You don't see us crying. And the person that replies said, he's from there. And I'm failing to see how you guys condoning it means we should too over here. You guys almost had Tyler's head for making a statement in an interview that didn't sit well with y'all. If Nigerians don't like it, it means they don't, and it should be respected.
Very intelligent.
So, you know, when we put this skit, Tyler's comments, it was about colored being versus, and they didn't even want to understand the context of that colored situation in South Africa. And then even some of her comments on Amapiano, everybody says all African music now is Amapiano. And you look at our presentation, what do we do to clean it up? And you're in this industry. This industry is the one that's driving. It's music, Nollywood. It's driving conversations and eyeballs on Nigeria.
It should change the narrative if it can.
For me, I mean, when the university Twitter page of the person in charge is locked because we're asking for their certificates, sometimes I don't even know, is this scam? You know, these are the problems, these are the issues. These are the issues. Like I said, I've reached a point in Nigeria where I'm now so hyperbolic or oxymoronic with how I meet the country. Because on one side, Nigeria is so exciting, and on the other side, it's so damning. So, like I said, I worry. If you tell Druski not to paint us like that, but I mean, go look at Nigeria literally from top to bottom. Literally from top to bottom.
We'll leave it at that. They said I should put my glasses back on because I have one more round for you. Are you guys ready? Just don't give me beats because I want beats.
I'm actually being calm.
I want to see how very...
We don't get any moment that goes viral.
Are we ready?
Please.
Are we ready for this? This is the last part. Hey. Let me do my rap before we go. Are you ready? Team baby.
No, let's we are the audience now.
I need some yo-yos. Are you ready?
Get on.
All right, we're wrapping up Jasiri. It's the end of the week. Dropped knowledge, hit topics, kept it bold and unique. From deep conversations to truths that ignite, we're signing off strong till next week's Spotlights. Catch us next round for the wisdom we seek. Jasiri's going out. We see you next week.